Bonjour, mamas. Today we are talking about transitioning from corporate life to entrepreneurship with our amazing guest from Quebec, Fabienne Raphael. Let's jump in.
You're listening to my mom
on the Mommy's Home Office Show.
Okay, Mom, yes, your turn. Love you. Yeah, push mommy up, eh?
Aw, thanks, guys. Now go play so I can record this. Welcome to the Mommy's Home Office podcast, where I pull back the curtains and talk about the realities of starting and running a successful online business from home. I'm your host, Nicole Wynn. Let's do this. You guys, I wanted to take a real quick second to tell you about my Asana training that I have over at mommyshomeoffice.com right on the front page. It is a free behind-the-scenes training to this amazing system that has changed my life. I was crazy, unorganized, and had a million lists everywhere and all my stuff in different places, and I couldn't find anything for home or for my biz life, and I just felt frazzled and scattered all the time. I finally found this amazing free tool called Asana, and it has all my to-do lists in there. It's a very visual board, so it's very easy for me to go into and check off things on the list or make them recurring. It has just really been amazing for me. So I recorded an online training course for it, so you can go on and get my behind the scenes, what's working for me, and hopefully it'll work for you. Best of all, it's free. So go check it out, mommyshomeoffice.com, right on the homepage. Now let's jump into today's interview. We have a great show today featuring the wonderful Fabienne Raphael out of Montreal. She's a former elite handball player, mom of 2 kiddos, and the producer of the Marketing to Crush Your Competitors podcast, where she moves entrepreneurs from unfulfilling corporate careers to thriving online businesses. She's also been featured on Forbes, Huffington Post, Smart Blogger, and EO Fire, just to name a few. Bonjour, Fabienne. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited to chat with you and kind of get all of these little nuggets of gold that you have to offer when it comes to moms wanting to transition out of corporate life into an online business that they can do from home and spend more time with their loved ones and family and do the things that they want to do. Can you tell us, how did you get started in this role of entrepreneurship? Was it the kids that spurred it on, or was it before that?
No, actually, it was after that, and it had to do with also the good influence of my life partner, actually, because at the time when we met, he was already into personal development and doing being a consultant, so working for himself. And he got me into the idea, even though I was raised by parents that were working at the same place for like 30 years, and that's how I thought that life was going to be. But then in my own life, I would say that every 3 to 5 years, I felt a little bit bored and felt like going for another challenge, but I still was an employee. And then along the way, well, with his good influence, we started a few businesses. And at a certain point, why I fell for the online business is that I attended this marketing conference and I learned about marketing, which I completely ignored at that time. And I implemented some strategies into the businesses that I had at this time. And then at a certain point, I was tired of trading time for money. And I felt like I wanted to spend more time home and being more in control of my own schedule, being there more with my oldest. So I decided to just switch into the online business because you could work from home and you could still help people with their marketing strategies and build their online business by being around your family more. So I would say that this is actually the good influence of my life partner, but also the fact that I wanted to spend more time with my loved ones.
I think that's great. And I think that's where a lot of moms fall, is that they do want to spend a lot more time with their family, and they feel torn between not knowing anything other than corporate and you're wanting to desperately stay at home with their kids. And you find them sometimes going into multi-level network marketing or doing, just staying at home and not knowing what to do. And I think because your specialty is helping that transition, is there any like mindset tip or something that you can share with us that would get these moms kind of their wheels turning and get them on the right path to do this?
There are several things. The first thing I would say is that as a mom, we always feel responsible for everybody else. So we spend a lot of time taking care of the kid, taking care of the partner, taking care of everything else except of ourselves. So a lot of people decide to just sacrifice their own life in the name of everything else, right? But at a certain point, I think that for your partner, for your kids, for everybody to enjoy who you truly are and to appreciate like your whole personality, you must. It's like a duty for you to express your true self to the world and share your gifts with the world. So I think that the mindset, I would say the first thing would be like, stop sacrificing everything else. And then think about yourself also, because the more you do it for yourself, the more you will shine, the more you will glow, the more happy you will be. And your kids are going to see you like that. Your partner is going to see you like that, your spouse, your friends, and everybody. So I would say like the first thing is this. The second thing is to stop feeling guilty. Because being a mom and being an entrepreneur, you have to juggle, like you have to be at both places. And it's kind of hard sometimes to realize, okay, so this is the time that I have, and I have to do the most I can do with this. And with kids and with babies, well, you can plan, but sometimes something happens and you have to adapt. So just taking the guilt out of it. I'm saying that because I have a 4 months and a half boy, and sometimes I say, let's say my day starts, and I'm like, I need to accomplish this and this, and then instead of accomplishing 2, I accomplish 1, but then I go with the most important one first. But again, like it's either I'm there for him or I sacrifice this time and I do what I have to do with my business. But again, I'm happy because my life partner works with me in my business. So actually he could do stuff that I don't have time to do, let's say during that day. But again, like just to take that guilt away and being, when you're in your business, well, be 100% there. And when you're with your kids, be 100% there too. So this is where you are going to be better with your own self also.
I struggle with that. I do, like the 100% here and the 100% there, because this is not my first business either. But in my last business, it was because that's what I was doing in my old corporate life, and I started doing it as a consultant, and it worked great to get me into the entrepreneur mindset. But I would work and I'd be like, okay, I've done 8 hours. I'm good. I don't need it. Finally, when I transitioned to Mommy's Home Office, I really want to work like 18 hours a day. I love it. And with my little kids, it makes it hard because, well, they go to school because I'm not good when they're here all day long. So I need a little bit of a break. Mommy's Home Office lights me up. I could literally work on it from 7:15 in the morning when I drop off the kids to 3:00 when I pick them up. And then it's so hard for me not to pop back in the office until till after 7 when they go to bed. And I'm so guilty of that. But that's how you know you're doing what you're called to do, and you're doing the right thing.
Yes.
So I think it's super important that moms get rid of that mom guilt. I'm here to banish that forever. I don't think it's healthy or good for you. So I'm so glad you touched on that. A lot of my moms, are thinking that they want to get started, or they're thinking about how could they do this. Do you have any suggestions or tips on how to get started, or what are the first steps to do this?
You said something very interesting, because you said when you started your first business, you just were doing what you were doing as a corporate, but you were a consultant. So it could be actually something not as frightening or as fearful to start as your expertise that you're doing as a corporate, as a consultant, because first, like you work for yourself and then you stay in this same area. So for people that don't necessarily enjoy to go out so much of their comfort zone, maybe it's a good transition to do that. I would suggest that ask yourself, like, what is your gift, or what is your expertise, or what are you really great at? And if you have problems finding that out, ask people around you, because people are going to tell you, like, really immediately, well, you, of course, like, you're a master at this, or you're doing this so well, and, you know, like, you always take charge, you're a true leader, whatever. So it gives you a kind of like a feeling of, okay, so I'm good at something, right? And you could get paid for that eventually online as a coach or as a service provider, let's say. Okay, so that would be the first thing I would tell you to do. And then also to prepare yourself that it's not going to be easy. Starting a business could be simple, but it's not necessarily easy. What I mean is that sometimes as an entrepreneur, we know what we have to do, but we don't necessarily do it, because I don't know why. Like, human beings are more comfortable not doing anything than just pushing and keep the discipline going and do those little steps every day. So I would say that your reason why you want to do this has to be very profound and deep, because challenges are going to come around the corner, like every month or every day, even, especially when you're starting. So if you're not ready for that, then at a certain point, you'll just let it all go and say, this thing is not working, or it's not for me, or I'm not geared to that, or whatever. So that's what I would say. Like, first of all, like, find what you're great at, what problem you can solve actually for someone, because right now, maybe there is someone out there looking for your service or your expertise, and you just don't know about it. And then third thing, well, be very clear on why you're doing this, because it will give you strength to go forward whenever you face those challenges.
Oh my gosh, this is all so much pure gold just coming out of Fabienne right now. It's awesome. I think we're aligned in a lot of the ways that we think about these things, because you're absolutely right. And for me, I would have never just launched Mommy's Home Office on my own without having that stepping stone. And I did that other business for 5.5, 6 years. I still have it, and it still brings in passive income, but I don't mess with it anymore. Somebody else gives me a commission for everything that I was doing. And I would have never gotten here without that stepping stone, because I was so scared. I actually told one of my bosses at one time that, oh my gosh, I can't believe you own a company, because it's just so much work. And now here I am later, like, what is this, 15 years later, and I have 2 businesses. So
good for you.
Yeah, thank you. It's just been, it's a crazy ride, and I think everybody has to do it at their own pace. Thank you. I really appreciate you coming on this show. You've shared so many amazing nuggets, and you have this amazing free tool all about the transitioning process. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. Actually, it's a free training, and it's how to transition from corporate to entrepreneur. Perfect. So you just have to go at 1kandbeyond.com, and then you'll get everything there, so you could get started and just get this thing going. Because I know a lot of people have been thinking about it, and I don't know why sometimes we have the foot on the brake and we just don't want to go for it, but it's in you. So it's your duty to share it with the world.
Yes, it is. Preach it, Fabienne. That is perfect. Thank you so much for being on the show today. And I will add that link to the show notes, so they can just go to the show notes and grab it from there. Thank you so much.
It was my pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, you guys. Don't you think there was so much gold in that episode? Fabienne is amazing. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Oh, and don't forget, pop on over to mommyshomeoffice.com and grab that behind the scenes free Asana training that will take you from frazzled to organized. I really hope that you're loving this podcast as much as I am. If you are, please leave a raving review on iTunes so more moms can find us. Easiest way to get there, mommyshomeoffice.com/iTunes. And just one last thing. Mom, you've got this. Now go kick some ass.